7 News.
On World News Tonight this Sunday, amazing rescue. 4 missing Cuban ball players and their coach safe in the Bahamas. A critical crossroads for Iraq. The head of the UN weapons inspection team is there. And President Clinton takes off for Africa. Will he be able to leave controversy behind?
From ABC News, this is World News Tonight, Sunday.
Good evening, I'm Carole Simpson. 9 Cuban defectors, including 4 baseball players and a coach, are in Nassau in the Bahamas tonight. Originally, it was thought the ball players took off from Cuba 12 days ago and may have drowned at sea. But today, new details emerged about their mysterious and perilous journey. ABC's Mark Potter is in Nassau.
This morning, the Cuban ball players and other defectors seemed fit and in good spirits as they milled around the tiny police station on Ragged Island, 80 miles north of Cuba. After being rescued at sea and dropped off at the dock here yesterday afternoon, the 9 men walked to the station and turned themselves in. They were given food, water, and tea and spent the night on mattresses on the floor. Today, one of them worked out with weights. The men say they fled Cuba early Thursday in an old fishing boat and spent 2 days at sea before being rescued. The Bahamian boat that picked them up could be seen in the distance today, pursuing another lobster catch. Later this morning, Bahamian immigration officials took the men to Nassau for questioning and detention. Cuban pitching coach Orlando Chenea said he was very tired from the ordeal. At the Bahamas Immigration Detention Center, Miami sports agent Joe Cubas tried to talk to the ball players through the fence. He has helped numerous Cuban athletes defect, most recently pitcher Orlando Hernandez, who fled by raft, and with Cubas' help just signed a multi-million-dollar contract with the New York Yankees. Cubas says he had nothing to do with this latest defection and claims he would never urge anyone to flee by boat.
One of the things that I've been able to tell them is please do not do that. Don't risk your lives, and no matter, no matter how bad it may be in Cuba, it's worse in the middle of the ocean.
Cubas says he may try to convince either the Bahamas, Costa Rica, or the United States to give the 9 Cubans humanitarian visas. But that process is just beginning. For now, the Cuban defectors are behind the wire fences of this detention center, worrying about whether they will be given humanitarian visas or be sent back to Cuba. Mark Potter, ABC News, in Nassau, the Bahamas.
The head of the UN weapons inspection team arrived in Iraq today. Richard Butler says that inspections of presidential compounds could begin soon. ABC's Richard Gisbert is in Baghdad.
Richard Butler is talking about a welcome change in relations between UN weapons inspectors and Iraq.
I have a sense of a new spirit now prevailing in our relationship.
He went on to say if Iraq continues to cooperate the way it has since last month's agreement, the inspections could end quickly. Tomorrow, Butler meets Deputy Prime Minister Tariq Aziz to discuss an important test of that agreement, the first UN visits to the presidential sites. Today, Butler was asked if those inspections will occur by the end of this month.
What's the date today? The 22nd, isn't it? Probably.
For all of Richard Butler's optimism, there were pointed reminders today in both the Iraqi media and parliament of the hostility that still exists between Iraq, the weapons inspectors, and the U.S. A newspaper controlled by Saddam Hussein's son caustically described Butler as a pawn of the U.S. government. And Iraqi legislators today branded President Clinton a war criminal. Despite the UN's talk of a new kind of cooperation, there's still an old, familiar rhetoric here. It's omnipresent, like the leader who remains as powerful as he is unpredictable. Richard Gisbert, ABC News, Baghdad.
President Clinton is on his way to Africa. The president, his wife Hillary, and daughter Chelsea left Washington this evening for a 12-day, 6-nation African tour. Here's ABC's Mike Von Fremd.
This is not only the longest overseas trip of his presidency, this will also be the first time an American president has ever set foot in any of the 6 countries Mr. Clinton is visiting. First stop, Ghana.